Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 28th of September. So, well, things are very much continuing as was in terms of the bonds, etc. But let's have a look. Actually, let's just go straight in if I can just show you the bonds straight away. So the bond prices are continuing to be sitting there relatively high, effectively putting more strength into the US dollar as these, I say bond prices, but yields are increasing, not the bond prices. The bonds are actually dropping because people are selling them, but the yields themselves are increasing, and as a consequence of such, the dollar is also increasing in strength. So so long as that's continuing to happen, could see some potentially more upside for the dollar. Right, on that basis, let's just have a look at today's calendar. In fact, it's just focused just purely on today's calendar, and you'll see Fed chair testifying at 3 p.m. this afternoon. That's the first bit of news that we've got until later. Is retail sales already came out slightly better than expected in Australia. Side of that, then consumer confidence later on at 3 p.m. So it's another one of those days, and we've got a couple of speakers later. The speakers yesterday really didn't give it a great kicker to the markets. There was a mixture of hawkishness in terms of some parts of the speeches, and then dovishness in other parts. In other words, as widely expected now by analysts, is that the tapering will start at some point soon, but the interest rates, well, that's another matter, and is most likely late next year before that happens. So that's where we're sitting at the moment. Inflation's still picking up, but I have a theory of why things are sitting as they are now, which I'll save for another video. Anyway, right, so that's where we are today in expectation or news events, risk events into the market. Let's have a look at the technicals. We're starting off with the euro dollar first, and where we're seeing a continuation to the downside of the euro. Nice solid moves as it's been coming down, big bearish and engulfing bar at the moment, continuation bar setting in, and it really is selling off quite strongly pre 8 o'clock. Now, whenever I get into these sort of moves, so often they do actually turn back, and we see quite a retracement, and there's a possibility that will happen post 8 o'clock. It's just the way the markets just continue to develop. We're just into some support into the 4-hourly pivots at the moment. I mean, of course, these can just get smashed out of the way, but you see we're just through the monthly pivot there. Here we go, just breaking the monthly pivot. Well, there's bound to have been some orders sitting below here, some sell stops from those bullish traders that have been in before, but still got these prior lows over here to maybe provide a bit of support. So there is some support sitting below, but after this it does get a bit thin, and if we come out to the weeklies here, you start seeing the targets of what lies beneath in terms of the weekly 100, the weekly 200, both sitting there as potential targets below. Right, okay, so it looks weak. It is weak at the moment. Retracements may give opportunities to sell into. Right, that's the euro. The pound. Now we can get total retracements at some stage, of course, just to put that in there, particularly if bond buying starts happening, because the Fed sort of step in and start buying front-end bonds. Right, the pound. Pound likewise is selling off at the moment. It's a stronger, as you can see, it's nowhere near its lows, let alone its previous lows. It's sitting there stronger than the euro in a sense at the moment, but holding up, but still looking pretty weak as we go through here. So as I say, it's dollar strength coming through, and there's plenty of targets below that we could see hit, but wait for any turn, so I'm going right down to the 5-minute here. It's a bit low, but just looking to see what supports it's below us, and at the moment not a great deal. We've got the weekly pivots, that we've got the 100 MAs and things like this coming up, may just hold things, but for now it does look soft. Retracements will give opportunities potentially to sell, but it may be easier to sell the euro than it is the pound. Dollar yen. Well, that's continuing the route up. The good thing, or I say the clear thing here is we've got the dollar showing strength across most of the market so far, all of the market so far, and it's clear. There's no conflict of yen going one way, the euro going the other way, the pound going another way. They're all moving at the same route at the moment, and it's clear. Yen continuing to push out. Well out of my little box now. I can get rid of that. And just shoving up at the moment. Little in the way of opportunities of retracements. Even yesterday, well, it may have given it one back in the afternoon there. But whether that really hit the 21 is another matter. But in general, yep, if you're up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you might have got some opportunities to get in on these. But these have gone for me for today. It's already up into its R2, so well, we'll see what happens. But not tradable for me. Aussie dollar consolidation. It's a bit more like the pound in that sense. It hasn't got rolled over into the same degree. There was some good news through the Asian session in terms of retail sales, not as bad as expected, but still seeing when you're coming down the time frame, still seeing this bearishness. It has put in a higher low in here, not a major one. It needs to break this 73.18 sort of area before it gives this sort of more significant major higher low, and off it goes. But all the same, there are some smaller time frame higher lows coming through here, and it's probably showing the signs. However, looking the way it is at the moment, that could soon be crushed. But we often see these moves quite quickly in the Aussie dollar, running through into the early part of the UK session, the European session, and then all of a sudden it stalls and spoils things. But at the moment, solid old down bar coming through there. Seeing it right away across the markets. Okay, Canadian dollar. Price of oil shooting up, and it continues to shoot up overnight. We would expect the Canadian dollar to be gaining. Well, it has been gaining, and it's done pretty well on the dailies here. Remember, this is US dollar stroke Canadian dollar, so it's inverted. So it's the stronger Canadian dollar winning over on this particular case, and quite rightly so, with the price of oil shoving up as it is. A bit of a reversal at the moment on the shorter time frames, but well, could give opportunities on the short side post 8 o'clock, but otherwise it's just patience sitting there at the moment and waiting. On the Cad New Zealand dollar briefly, don't look at this too often. Very similar to the Aussie dollar generally. They're quite well correlated. Chopping around a little bit, very bearish here at the moment, and looking like it's got more downside as well. Hasn't come back to that monthly pivot for quite some time. In fact, it hasn't even hit it at all this month. So a good short-term target, but nothing else. But it does, on this bigger picture, look soft at the moment anyway. Right, cross pairs, I just always look at the euro yen. It's been running nicely through the Asian session there. What you've got to remember is, whilst the dollar is the strongest currency sitting out there, there's a whole bundle of other, the currencies against each other, the cross pairs, are still worth looking at, and sometimes that's where the opportunities sit on days like this. If you can't get in one direction, look at some of the bigger crosses, the euro pound. Euro yen, pound yen. Sometimes these currencies they're quite volatile, but they also give opportunities. Okay, right, let's move on through here then. So euro yen, just pushing up. Sorry, I just had a signal of a potential setup. So okay. Euro yen, just a bit of a reversal at the moment, but overall the euros, as I say, pushing, holding its own against the yen here quite well. The yen just that bit softer across and giving opportunities to the upside. Okay, right, let's have a look at gold. So gold selling off, looking pretty much near its prior lows. It's just come out here. You just see it, and as expected, strong dollar, weak in the terms of gold at the moment, and expect retracements offer the opportunity of selling into, or breakdowns, in this case breakdowns of trend lines, running down, but it's already there, it's already happening. Unfortunately, we're seeing it afterwards, after the event, a little bit here. Not a lot I can do. I just need to wait for retracements on a lot of these markets where they've already moved. As mentioned, oil, another good shove up yesterday. Unfortunately, I couldn't get into it. It went early-ish. I could have gone in there a bit earlier and tracked in, but it was quite early. I prefer to be trading it in the afternoon, but it's shoved up again this morning. And sometimes you get in it too early in the morning, it retraces and then gives you the opportunity in the afternoon. You spent the whole day in a trade that's underwater. What's the point? Yesterday though, it just literally came back here, and it fired off about 1 o'clock-ish at the top there, maybe slightly earlier, but then danced around, came back. I missed this at 5. It did actually retrace. I don't know if it came back to a decent enough point, but it did retrace. But it was slow going off. But looking for more on oil at the moment. It's just shoving. I mean, it's pretty close to, probably target areas I've been looking for, the bodies, etc. It's gone through those actually in this current trading sessions, but it may well break beyond this. There is this whole fear in the starting to go through the energy wise, driven by gas. A lot of it. People forget there's so much surplus production available in oil. Yep, it's the oil producers are loving it. Anyway, there we go. Let's continue to push up and look bullish. Right. In summary, let's get on and just look through the other charts if I can. Switch across here and we'll look at the quick look through the markets here. So looking at Hong Kong market, Hong Kong, the CSI 300, just seeing it standing there pretty consolidated. The Nikkei, it's at the moment, well, actually, what's going on with the Nikkei? 28th. Yep, it's alright, just checking. So I was looking yesterday, of course, it pitched up and sold off, and then today, well, it's just gap filling, it seems. It's up positively now, filled the gap, but turning around there positively. But let's look at more close to home markets. The Ftse looking like it's rolling over a little bit here at the moment, struggling to push up these equity markets, which is not surprising. The S&P's had a struggle yesterday. The DAX this morning, same situation, struggling a little bit at the moment, and the French CAC also struggling. I think they could easily, I'm erring on the bearish side of these equity markets at this stage, so it's unusual for me, but there we are. Yesterday we saw this, and I think I pointed out in the morning it had run up in the earlier stages, and I think it might have just gone beyond that, but certainly gone into that trend line, that earlier trend line there, coming off that at the moment, and to me it looks soft. So that's the equity markets. Let's just have a quick look at the cryptos. Going to be very quick on this. He says when you're looking at it, so they're more consolidation. Yesterday ended up on a down. The more dollar strength we got, these are dollar backed. Remember the prices I'm showing you here, they're not against other cryptos, they're not cross pairings, they are against the US dollar. US dollar is having a bit of a party at the moment, and we're seeing these sell-offs coming through all these markets. To me, it still looks weak. As I often say, consolidation around these lows look like there could be further downside. Now, something might come in and change that. A lot of bond buying might change things around, see the dollar softening, and we could get a nice spike to the upside. But be wary, dead cat bounces. Right, that's it for me. Have a great day, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.